President Muhammadu Buhari is to address the nation on Sunday, June 12, 2022, as part of events lined up to commemorate this year's Democracy Day. The Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, disclosed that the event will end with a ceremonial parade on Monday, 13th June. The Information and Culture Minister, Lai Mohammed, recalled President Muhammadu Buhari's directive in 2018 that Nigeria...
Between 1999 and 2018, we celebrated Democracy Day on May 29, simply because that was the day that the military handed over, power, so to say.
The Information and Culture Minister, Lai Mohammed, recalled President Muhammadu Buhari's directive in 2018 that Nigeria's Democracy Day celebration be shifted from May 29 to June 12 to honor Moshood Kashimawo Abiola, winner of the annulled 1993 presidential election by the then military regime of General Ibrahim Babangida. And in compliance with this presidential directive, this year will mark the fourth time the day will be marked on June 12th.
And the same day, we were in human service at the same at noon. On Sunday, June 12th, there will be a church service at the National Christian Center at 3 p.m. And finally, on Monday, June 30th, a ceremonial parade will be held at the Eagle Square, starting from 9 a.m.
Party faithfuls are still basking in the euphoria of the emergence of Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu, a former governor of Lagos State, as the flag bearer of the ruling All Progressive Congress APC in the forthcoming national general elections. They are, however, of the opinion that the camp of Asiwaju Bola Tinubu should be magnanimous in victory and see the challenge ahead as enormous. Fowora Adesonwu reports.
A divine project, no doubt. After the Abeokuta outburst of the national leader of the All Progressive Congress, APC, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, political pundits, bookmakers, and soothsayers have been put to wrong on the likely outcome of the APC presidential primary. The entire southwest region, unlike the past experience, seems to be rallying around the personality of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, one of the favorites to succeed the incumbent president, Muhammadu Buhari.
At the moment, it's a straight competition between Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Rotimi Amaechi, and Vice President Yemi Osinbajo.
In fairness, as a God-fearing person, I was so happy for Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu simply because he has been a consistent person, he has been a sincere person towards the party, he has been a party builder, he has been individual builder. God really gave him the opportunity to really reap what he has sown.
You need to take care of your own child and not even taking good care of another child that doesn't belong to you.
With a number of fake and authentic information, but when the results finally came in, it became clear that a number of issues were responsible for the interest shown by Nigerians irrespective of where they came from.
It's exactly what they started about a week ago that has emerged today. The first thing we had was that some people have been disqualified and some people have been qualified.
Every home, collectively and individually, showed enough interest in the APC presidential primary, which took place at the Eagle Square, Abuja, the Federal Capital Territory.
This is to certify that Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, having scored the highest number of vote cast, is hereby declared winner.
Honorable Lanre Jaji, Chief Doja Adewolu, Chief Alani Suara Bankole, and other respondents believe restructuring through federalism as well as the autonomy of the local government will go a long way to solve issues of insecurity, unemployment, and bad shape of the nation's economy.
He was given a kind of a team competition, and I'm sure that one will make him to understand that life is not easy. You just have to struggle for it and make sure you do well for the masses of Nigeria.
And thank God, because if Tinubu has not won now, if the thing were to go to the north again, then it means for years our children will never smell of being anything.
You must have the courage, the knowledge to effect the real restructuring, not the type of restructuring people are making noise about. The type of restructuring that you must make sure that the local government operates maximally, efficiently, and it should be the other way around. Fund should be coming from the local government to the state, from the state to the national, not from the national to the states and the local government.
3 major contestants are vying for the exalted position of the president of the most populated black nation in the world, Nigeria. They are Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu of the All Progressive Congress, APC, Alhaji Abubakar Atiku of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, and Mr. Peter Obi of the Labour Party, LP. Adefowora Adesanwo, OGTV News.
Meanwhile, Ogun State Governor Prince Dapo Abiodun has congratulated the national leader of the ruling All Progressive Congress APC, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, on clinching the presidential ticket of the party. Abiodun, in a statement in Abeokuta, said the emergence of Tinubu as the APC presidential flag bearer for the 2023 general elections is a good omen for the party and the country as a whole. According to him, the victory shows that Asiwaju Tinubu is widely beloved and accepted within the country's entire political spectrum and shows his level of deep interactions and acceptance not only within the ruling APC but across Nigeria. Governor Abiodun noted that Tinubu's extensive political experience and understanding of national politics will surely come in handy when he squares up against candidates from other political parties during the 2023 presidential election. While saluting his tenacity, courage and resilience, Abiodun expressed confidence that Tinubu will further deepen the nation's democratic ethos and good governance that will enhance the welfare and well-being of Nigerians. The governor also commended President Muhammadu Buhari and the National Working Committee for providing the necessary leadership that made the presidential primary election a resounding success. Governor Abiodun further commended other aspirants for their remarkable sportsmanship, which they displayed throughout the process. Abiodun urged the leadership and members of the APC to work in unison with a view to ensuring victory in the general election next year. The Independent National Electoral Commission has sought the support of the Nigerian Air Force in deploying personnel and airlifting election materials to remote and insecure areas across the country. The Commission also solicited the support of the Air Force to provide security in volatile areas, just as it had been doing during the off-cycle elections. INEC Chairman Professor Mahmoud Yakubu disclosed this during his visit to the Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Oladayo Amao, in Abuja. He also requested the help of the Air Force in handling the delivery of outstanding election materials to Ekiti and Osun governorship elections. Responding, Amao commended INEC for strengthening electoral processes in the country. He promised to give INEC necessary NAF support and coordinations in airlifting all the election materials, logistics, including staff coming up in Nigeria to any parts of remote areas of any state to ensure hitch-free, inclusive, and fair election. In a related development, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has given Friday June 17, 2022, as a deadline for political parties to send the names of their presidential candidates and running mates. It also issued Friday, 15 July 2022, as a deadline for the parties to submit names of gubernatorial candidates and their running mates. INEC said it has created a nomination center at its headquarters where it can receive and process nominations sent by political parties ahead of the 2023 general elections. The electoral umpire also set up telephone lines to serve as help desk for the parties in case they need any kind of assistance from the Commission. INEC revealed that the deadlines for political parties to send their nominations before the portal will be shut down Friday, 17 June 2022 for presidential, senatorial, and House of Representatives elections, while Friday, 15 July 2022 for governorship and House of Assembly elections. According to INEC, the idea was established to remove physical meeting that might occur among party officials and commission staff. The European Union, EU, in partnership with the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, and other organizations has begun a scheme to encourage Nigerian youth to get more involved in the electoral process in the country. These bodies disclose that a musical concert for the youth titled Youth Vote Count Mega Concert, which will be held next Saturday at the Tafawa Balewa Square, is part of the move to encourage Nigerian youth to show more interest in the electioneering process in 2023 general election. At the press briefing held to usher in the concert, the EU representative, Ms. Laolu Olawomi, disclosed that the international body was worried about the low turnout of youths on election day, which explains the reason for the involvement of the EU in the project, pointing out that it was designed to increase youth participation in the voting process in the country. She recalled that in 2019, the EU took the campaign of youth voting on election day to schools, saying the message was also extended to those who were not in school and that no youth was exempted in the campaign. Meanwhile, INEC Resident Electoral Commissioner in Lagos State, Mr. Olusegun Agbaje, at the event assured electorate that the Commission had improved the way election was conducted, adding that their vote will count as, according to him, the elections would be credible. The United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF, in collaboration with Foreign, Commonwealth, and Development Office in Nigeria, has stated that despite the progress made, Nigeria is not likely to achieve the global agenda of universal, inclusive, and equitable quality basic education for all school-age children by 2030 if the current very low public investment in the education sector remains the same. At a media dialogue on girls' education in Katsina, a communications specialist of UNICEF Field Office, Muntaka, disclosed that students' learning outcomes assessment, which completed 6 cases study states by the independent evaluation in 2021, revealed that the people's proficiency in literacy is higher in only Enugu State against a benchmark of 500. It was, however, lower in the remaining 5 states of Kano, 488.77, Zamfara 443.38, Kwara 493.56, and the rest. On the other hand, only 2 states have higher scores of pupils' proficiency in numeracy, Enugu 599.46 and Kwara 565.28 against the benchmark of 500, while other remaining states have lower pupils' proficiency in numeracy, Kano 463.14, Zamfara 437.04, and Katsina 476.7. For Nigeria to address the challenge, the media dialogue emphasized that the government must demonstrate strong will as well as create substantial innovative fiscal space. It also called for policy reforms so as to strengthen educational planning and coordination among various actors at all levels. Still to come, WHO records over 1,000 cases of monkeypox. A German agency, GFA Sky, has lauded the Ogun State government for the resuscitation and revamping of the technical and vocational education TVET, advising it to sustain the momentum. Team leader of the agency, Dirk Lundman, who gave the commendation during a courtesy visit to the special advisor to the governor on technical and vocational education and training in Okemoson, Professor Joseph Odemuyiwa, applauded the government for making the sector attractive for the younger ones and school leavers. Lundman revealed that the purpose of the visit was to seek ways to further improve communication, understand the programs of SkyGs so as to pave the way for seamless engagement with beneficiaries of government programs, as well as its intervention and that of other partners by evaluating feedbacks. Also speaking, lead communication expert of GFA Sky, Dominic Talley, commended the government's effort at improving the quality and standards of TVET, saying from the available records the extension of the various trainings, capacity buildings beyond the formal to the informal sectors has further enhanced the capacity of artisans, technicians, and craftsmen across the state. While appreciating the government for the quality of its intervention in TVET, she advised that government needs to look beyond policy reform, capacity building, and human capital development to engaging in more social and behavioral engagement with the people. Speaking earlier, Professor Joseph Odemuyiwa revealed that before the coming on board of the Prince Dakwa Abiodun-led administration, technical and vocational education in the state was in a sorry state, but the government has since come up with different programs ranging from trainings, capacity building, as well as policy formulation, translating in the desired revamping of the sector.
On assumption of office, the governor saw the need for what we call meaningful education, functional education. That is the kind of education that put food on the table of the learner. So, he also to resuscitate the entire TVET sector in Ogun State. The reason for this is to ensure that our youths that are roaming about the streets are engaged through viable employment.
He thanked the agency and other development partners for supporting the government and listed some of the intervention which led to the resuscitation of the sector to include over 10 different trainings, collaboration with Bureau of Employment Generation, Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment, training of students meant for industry, promising to intensify efforts with a view to changing the mindset of the young ones as regards technical and vocational education. In a bid to improve security as well as safety of lives and property, Ogun State government has recruited 150 personnel into the State Fire Service. The Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Special Duties, Dr. Rotimi Akinlesi, confirmed this in his office in Okemoson, Abeokuta. Sheyi Alao reports.
According to the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Special Duties and Intergovernmental Affairs, Dr. Rotimi Akinlesi, the recruitment was meant to ensure more efficient service delivery in fire management in Ogun State by the government. The new recruits were selected after a screening exercise and examination for the successful applicants. Dr. Rotimi Akinlesi added that the recruitment was also part of Governor Dakwa Abiodun's administration's commitment to provide employment opportunities and guarantee the safety of lives and properties.
Prince Dakwa Abiodun, MFR, ensured that 150 fire officers were employed into the Fire Service Department, which is under the Ministry of Special Duties and Intergovernmental Affairs. I need to let us know that this 150 fire officers and men are divided into two categories. We have the senior category. We have 45 of them in the senior category, and we have 105 in the junior category. It was a long process. We had over 500 or 600 people that applied, and the application was done online.
It noted that the development will strengthen the agency to discharge its duties effectively, and it charged the new recruits to give their best to the agency.
Encourage all these officers and men that have been employed that they should give their best to the state. While the state is giving them the trust and giving them the platform to exhibit their strengths, to exhibit their all that they can do for the state. I think this is a time for them to show that they love their state and get committed to their work, and at the end of the day, our state will be the best for it.
The director, Ogun State Fire Service, Engineer Fatai Adefala, says the recruitment was in continuation of the transformation that the fire service has witnessed since the inception of the present administration in the state.
To appreciate His Excellency, Prince Dr. Abeokuta MFR, for all the activities and for the repositioning of Ogun State Fire Services. We have been having challenges with staff strength, but he deemed it fit to recruit more fire officers, which has never happened in the history of the state.
The director added that the newly recruited personnel will undergo another round of training exercise on fire response and disaster management before deployment to their various units across the state. Sheyi Alao, OGTV News.
Stakeholders and cassava farmers in Ogun State have been sensitized on cassava virus detection and prevention. The one-day training facilitated by the Central and West African Virus Epidemiology WAVE program, led by its country director for South, West and North Central, Dr. Angela Enin, in collaboration with the Ogun State government, had in attendance the State Commissioner for Agriculture, Dr. Adeola Odedino, and other dignitaries from the ministry. Margaret Okunlola reports that the theme of the training was cassava viral diseases and participatory surveillance. Train the Trainers workshop for Ogun State Extension officers. Her report.
WAVE is an international research and prevention program working towards ensuring sustainable food security in Africa through a harmonized and coordinated control of root and tuber crop diseases in the sub-Saharan Africa. The Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, BMGF, and Foreign Commonwealth and Development Office are funding the project. Ogun State, pivotal in growing tuber crops, welcomed the team for its training of extension workers. The State Commissioner for Agriculture, Dr. Adeola Odedino, who led the Permanent Secretary, Dr. Dotun Shorunke, and other dignitaries from the ministry to the opening of the training, urged participants to utilize the opportunity offered by the program.
Ogun State is one of the leading states, and we're also a border state. So whatever happens to cassava in Ogun State will spread to all parts of Africa. So His Excellency Prince Dr. Dapo Abiodun MFR had approved that we work with this international agency to train extension agents in Ogun State on how to identify cassava virus disease and stop it on our farms.
The program country director for Southwest and North Central, Dr. Angela Eni, said that the training was to equip the participants with necessary skills to identify cassava diseases, such as mosaic and brown streak diseases, and how to prevent them from spreading to more African countries, especially West African nations.
We want to prevent, if possible, the incursion of that virus into Nigeria, or if it does come in, we want everybody to prepare to respond rapidly so that it doesn't spread. So this training is for the extension officers so that they can go back and then step the training down.
Introduced to how to maximize devices on the farm as well as digital means of tracking viral diseases in crops, especially cassava, participants agreed that it was a worthwhile experience and they are fully prepared to combat the virus as well as disseminate the information to others.
The training is enough to make us to prepare against prevention for the diseases.
You should use clean curtains that don't have the virus, and the way to be sure is get advice from agricultural agencies. You will be certain that the kind of stems you are planting, the kind of seed you are planting, they are viable ones and they are the ones that will not transmit diseases to your farms.
Anywhere, any day, anytime, I'm able to detect through this device to know if my farm is being affected or not.
Most farmers have Android phone. We will teach them, we will help them download the app, even without we present.
The sensitization, which started in Abeokuta, continues in the state in Awowo, Abeokuta zone, Ogbo for Ijebu-Ode zone, Iboro for Ilaro zone, and Owode for Ikene zone. Margaret Okunlola, OGTV News.
More than 1,000 confirmed cases of monkeypox have now been reported to the World Health Organization from 29 countries that are not endemic to the virus. The Director General of the WHO, Tedros Ghebreyesus, stated this during a media briefing shown across the global health body's social media handles. Mr. Ghebreyesus further disclosed that the latest infections reported by the countries have been discovered not only among men who have sex with men. The WHO DG also noted that the monkeypox virus has been circulating and killing in Africa for decades, with 1,400 suspected cases and 66 deaths reported so far, according to the breakdown of cases available on the WHO website for non-endemic countries. As of May 29, 2022, the United Kingdom topped the infection log with over 100 cases, followed by Portugal and Canada. Nigeria has experienced an upsurge in violence in recent months. Kidnapping and banditry attacks have been reported across the country. Recently, gunmen killed some members of St. Francis Catholic Church, Owo, in Ondo State, southwest Nigeria. The armed men entered the church and fired at the congregation during a service to mark the holy day of Pentecost, witnesses said. Tiwalade Faison in this report examines the way out and the security state of Nigeria, especially in worship centers. Her report.
The massacre of no fewer than 80 people, including women and children, in a Catholic church in Owo, Ondo State, southwest of Nigeria, in the first Sunday service of the month of June, has attracted attention from a number of people, regardless of their religion, on the state of the security architecture of Nigerian state. Respondents say the government should wake up to its primary assignment, which is to secure the lives and property of our citizens.
They should please protect all citizens. They should please protect everyone without minding religion, tradition, or tribe. The protection of life and property is from them. That's why we choose them. That's why we voted for them. They promise us that they want to protect us. They promise us they want to give us a good job. They should please fulfill their promise.
A Muslim cleric said security consciousness is a collective responsibility. It charged everyone to be vigilant always.
What I would suggest is the government should look deeply into this, our security, of not even in religion place alone, as well in our home where we live. We need total security in this country. And we ourselves should be security conscious. Before we can call on government to secure us, we should find a way to, a logic to secure our life. That is when government can come and say, okay, they want to also assist us in our security.
A public commentator enjoined citizens to report any suspicious activity around them to the designated authorities.
Also owe ourselves a duty to secure our own selves, either by watching where we go and also by being very vigilant with our surroundings once we notice suspicious movement, but the buck stops at the government still. Communal policing should be very, very much embraced, because with that initiative, everybody knows everybody in the community. Once you see a strange face, you identify him.
Of importance is a quick and possible solution to the level of religion intolerance and insecurity in Nigeria to reduce death and loss of property. They believe a lot needs to be done to curtail such killings and perpetrators brought to book. Tiwalade Fireson, OGTV News.
In the meantime, the National Security Council revealed that the Islamic State West African province masterminded the deadly attack on St. Francis Catholic Church, Owo, Ondo State, that left over 25 people dead on Sunday, June 5, 2022. The Minister of Interior, Rauf Aregbesola, disclosed this to State House correspondents shortly after the over 3-hour council meeting presided over by the President, Muhammadu Buhari, at the council chambers of the State House, Abuja. Aregbesola, who spoke in the company of the Inspector General of Police, Usman Baba, said security agencies are closing in on the perpetrators through their traces. According to him, the council is gravely concerned about the spate of blasphemy-linked killings and has directed security agents to hunt those behind the killing of Deborah Samuel in Sokoto State and a more recent case in Abuja. He, however, noted that the police have arrested no one for the attack since Sunday. The minister also debunked notions that the attack carried an ethnic religious tint. Aregbesola said the council has made adequate security preparations for the June 18 governorship election in Ekiti State. Governor Hamado Fintiri of Adamawa State has imposed a curfew in parts of Lamurde and Guyuk local government areas following renewed communal clashes. Fintiri disclosed this in a statement in Yola by Homowashi Wonosiko, his press secretary. According to the statement, the curfew will last between 5 p.m. and 6 a.m. until it is reviewed. The clash erupted on Monday, but the deployment of security personnel has brought relative peace to the area. Fintiri said that the government was concerned about the persisting tensions and reported attempts by some people to take the laws into their hands by attacking individuals and private facilities as well as public property. He advised all citizens to abide by the directive to enable security personnel to maintain law and order in the affected areas and deal with those attempting to foment trouble by taking advantage of the situation to perpetrate crimes. Wisdom, courage, firmness, alertness, incorruptibility, and the gift of sympathy have been described as some of the qualities of a good judge. The Chief Judge of Ogun State, Honorable Justice Mosumola Dipeolu, highlighted this during a valedictory court sitting held for Honorable Justice Olumuyiwa Sunday Olusoya. Elizabeth Eson witnessed a special session held at the ceremonial court of the Judicial Complex, Kobakwe, Abeokuta. Her report.
Honorable Justice O.S. Olusoya, and finally, my Lord, Honorable Justice L.A. Dipeolu,
65 years of age, bowing out after 33 years of active service as a jurist, Honorable Justice Olumuyiwa Sunday Olusoya was honored with a special court sitting as encomiums were showered on him by colleagues.
My Lord, Honorable Justice O.S. Olusoya has served the state and Ogun State Judiciary meritoriously from the magisterial cadre to the High Court bench.
A very hard-working judge who earned his pay and who was very responsible.
Speaking at the valedictory court sitting for the retiring legal luminary, The Ogun State Chief Judge, Honorable Justice Mosumola Dikpeolu, described Justice Olusanya as a hardworking, disciplined, dedicated, and loyal jurist who has impacted the state judiciary with his wealth of knowledge.
His Lordship brought to the bench his wisdom and fairness, his passion for truth, his enormous capacity to listen to what is said. I must also not fail to comment on his Lordship's peaceful nature and welcoming posture that make everyone feel at home with him.
Responding, the celebrants, Honorable Justice Olumuyiwa Sunday Olusanya, while appreciating all for their support throughout his service years, enjoined up-and-coming legal practitioners to be more diligent and focused, as well as adhere strictly to the ethics of the profession.
Within my 3 years in the judiciary, 10 years as a magistrate, 7 years in the registry, and 16 years on the High Court bench, I have enjoyed so much grace, so much honor and promotion. Grace in the sense that God stood by me and helped me through. I had opportunities to travel far and wide to serve this state and the nation at different levels. I had enjoyed great peace and honor in this present administration more than any other one.
Honorable Justice Olumuyiwa Sunday Olusanya was appointed judge of the High Court of Ogun State on the 27th September 2006. He served at several magisterial districts and judicial divisions. Until his retirement, Justice Olumuyiwa Sunday Olusanya sat at the Ijebu-Ode Judicial Division as the administrative judge. Elizabeth Esson, OGTV News.
Congratulations, my lord, on your retirement. Up next is business news with Simiat Abaru.
You're welcome to the business news segment. Operators in the oil and gas sector, as well as other stakeholders, are uncomfortable with the continued rise in the amount spent in subsidizing premium motor spirit, popularly called petrol, as it jumped to 947.51 billion naira between January and April 2022. An analysis of data obtained from the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited showed a monthly rise in PMS subsidy spendings by the oil firm, though NNPC described it as under recovery value shortfall. It was also gathered that the oil firm had informed the Federation Account Allocation Committee that it would deduct an estimated value shortfall of 874.5 billion naira in the May 2022 proceed due for sharing at the June 2022 FAC meeting. NNPC has been the sole importer of petrol into Nigeria for several years running. The firm has also been subsidizing the commodity all these years. Findings have indicated that electricity distribution companies' customer registration exercise has been stagnant at 10 million for the past 2 years. Further findings also show that about 47% of registered power users, 4.7 million, have been metered. Statistics sourced from the Association of Nigerian Electricity Distributors indicated that the 10 million registered customers and 47% metered power users were recorded as of the fourth quarter of 2021. At the end of 2021, over 10 million customers are registered, with approximately 47% metered, the association said in its latest commercial KPIs for ANED's members' fourth quarter 2021 report. A study of the metering progression on the ANED report showed that as of 2018, 42% customers were metered. Maritime agencies under the Federal Ministry of Transportation have reached an agreement to digitize their internal processes while also maintaining focus on actualizing the national single window regime in the nation's transportation sector. A statement by the Assistant Director, Public Relations, the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, Osage Edward, said the agreement was reached at the fourth Heads of Maritime Agencies meeting held in Lagos According to the statement, the Registrar of Council for the Regulation of Freight Forwarding in Nigeria, Sam Nwakoho, who spoke after the meeting, had disclosed that full automation of the internal processes of the various agencies was a prerequisite to achieving the much anticipated national single window regime in the sector. Nwakoho, who chaired the meeting, said the chief executive officers of various agencies had agreed on timelines to achieve full automation of internal processes. And finally, the Association of Tourist Boat Operators and Water Transport of Nigeria said its industry recorded a 20% passenger increase in the first quarter of 2022 due to the persistent traffic congestion on Lagos roads. The president of Arts Bolton, Tarzan Balogun, said this in Lagos. He lauded the government for its support, even as he charged government to pay more attention to the sector. Balogun disclosed that more investment were coming to the sector. He said that there should be more jetties on the waterways, the way bus stops were ejected on the roads. And that's the end of the business segment of the news. Back to Yabo for the segment